Yo, yo, yo. We're back at it with another um, Wrestling Throne podcast. And today I got the one and only Ace Idolo. What's good, my boy?
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Um, as you can tell, it's been pretty popping. My first episode, we had Rico. Me and him, we pretty much talked about, the status now of MOH and GWA. Then I had Jason Storm on. He kind of piggybacked off of that, but instead of talking about the recent situations, he went back in history and he said a lot of things. I know
I
you,
heard. I heard.
yeah, I know you, Rez, and it's a couple. It's just a handful of you guys that can verify. Also, I just had my boy Isaac on, and we talked
I heard
about
that one.
yeah,
He's a.
yeah. So we're definitely going to talk about that. But before we talk about you and Isaac, because I feel like that is more like of a recent thing, we're going to verify a couple things, right? So
Yeah.
with the first thing I want to verify is that he told me that you was in a stable with Rez, and it was called the Aces of MOH. Is that true?
I was never in a stable with Rez. I was in one with someone named. Oh, I think his name was like. Wasn't Jason. It was someone named. God, I can't remember. He left so fast. But we won the tag titles in our first attempt. We wrestled all the time. Won the tag titles fairly quickly, but then he got injured and eventually just stepped away.
Mm-hmm.
Bad injury. I believe it was his neck. Um, and then I teamed with Edwin for a little bit, and then that ended when he decided to backstab me. But that's how Jason first got his first title, was by shenanigans, because he couldn't beat me one on one
Was that the
on a normal
hardcore belt?
tag. It was not the hardcore. He won the tag championship before the hardcore belt.
Okay.
He teamed with Gardy.
Guardy. Okay.
It was and then Edwin Gardy, and it was Edwin Gardy and Jason for
Great
some time.
focus.
So that happened, and you know, then they eventually joined John, became ATF, and the rest is history for that. But I didn't really care about the tag division at that point.
Okay. And also, he was also saying things like we got into double champions, right? So we've had some pretty dope. Well, you guys had some pretty dominant double champions. I've only counted four, so I counted Toby Speck, Rez, and he counted himself. I told him to put them in order. He said Speck is fourth. He said Rez is third, and he says Toby is second, and he is first. I'm also getting reports that you were double champion at one point, and so I want you to, elaborate on your double. I want to know about the history of you being double champion, and also for the second question, since it's five of you, I want you to put in order who was the most dominant champions. So, like I said, Spec, Toby, Rez, and Jason Storm, and now yourself. But go ahead and
Yeah.
elaborate and give me the backstory on you being double, because Jason said he was the first double champion. He said he was the hardcore champion and tag team champion. And we can't verify none of this because he said it was a reset. He said he's beaten Rez twice, and he's done a lot of things. He's pretty much all the accomplishments that we want from MOH. He's already done, but all of his history was erased. So I'm just asking you just to verify.
So I believe years before I even joined, I believe there was a double champ, but it was for short because they decided that having double champ at that point kind of just hurt, because it was obviously it was double the workload, so championship wouldn't seem as prestigious. And so when I became double champ, I uh, someone backed out, disappeared, and I was the first person to step up, and it was for the hardcore championship. And I took the opportunity, obviously, won it. And that same night, I had a 5-stream match against Edwin, and that was the start of my first 5-stream championship run. And it was not a long double champ because when I at that point it was still, well, we'll try it out, but we're not going to. We're hoping it doesn't last. And I was like, I completely agree. I couldn't do the double workload, especially as 5-stream. That was the belt, and it still is the belt in that company. And having the double workload would just it'd make it harder, and my body couldn't handle it. And I believe I just relinquished the hardcore championship as obviously I was focused on the 5-stream and that belt.
That's fair.
So I think Rez or Gang Gang, it was one of them. They had a short double champ before I got there. And then me, uh, Jason, Edwin, because he was a tag champ as well. And then it was Spec and Toby. And then Rez again. Rez for 100% the second time. I'm not sure the first time though, but I was definitely 1 or 2 for double champ.
Well, that makes sense. So, where do you rank you five guys? So, like I said again, Spec, Toby, yourself, Rez, and Jason Storm.
So I'm gonna have listen. I've had matches with Spec, but when he was double champ, I mean he wasn't really defending the belt,
Mm,
so you got to put him at the bottom.
okay, that's
Um,
fair.
I'm I'm gonna put myself right there. Obviously, I just wasn't double champ long enough to do much with the hardcore belt at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So just I mainly was single champ. I just kind of stepped up because no one else would. Um, and then I would have Toby, and then no, I'd have Jason, Toby, Rez, because Jason was double champ and he defended the hardcore belt and the tag belt when necessary, and then Toby, and then Rez at the top because Rez dominated the division.
So you have Toby above Rez or Rez above Toby?
Rez above Toby because Rez just, I mean, no one could beat him. I
Uh,
tried and
right.
I couldn't.
So that's another thing I wanted to get into. Just verifying some of his, because there's a lot of things that's in question now, and I don't think anyone's ever questioned it. And this is not no jab to him. I just want to just because when I first came to the company, 44-0, I'm just like, yo, how, right? So from what I'm hearing, Jason has beat him twice, right? And it wasn't in single matches. He says that he's pinned him 1, 2, 3 in regular matches, like televised matches and tag team matches, right? One of them came from when you guys, went in the tag team, right? So, but you're saying that you guys was never in a tag team stable, and Rez has never said it, but Jason swears by it, right? Um, so I just wanted to verify that. Also, he also said like during Rez's title reigns that it was times where Rez wasn't defending his title and he was taking breaks off, and he was just like because I told him I was like, well, when I came to the company, Rez has had the hardcore title for 7 months, and Jason pushed back, and he said something that was real. He said that, well, if you think about it, if he was defending the title like how he was supposed to, right? So that means
Mm-hmm.
every week at Honor Dome plus a pay per view, and if you do, pretty much 5 matches, 5 times 7, and then plus, his win streak, the numbers don't add up, which is kind of
So
uh huh.
yeah, so with that, I think what he's getting mixed up is me and John had a tag team,
Okay,
but it was for storyline as we were like the tag team that never got along.
right.
It was, it was one of those like, can they coexist? And we couldn't, obviously. Me and John have probably had one of the longest rivalries.
Mm.
Just I want to say, probably one of the longest. Um, He screwed me out of some championships. I screwed him out of some. One of those. Just if he never reaches the top, I'm okay with that. Uh, so and then with Rez, he did have a 7th month long reign. Now I will say, I believe we took a little intermission because there was a lot of stuff going on and everyone's personal lives that I'm not going to air out.
Yeah.
And so we all just decided as a collective with the management that was like, we're going to take a little break, kind of get everything situated up again, and then we'll go on from there. So, are the numbers wrong? I don't know. I don't really care. It's if you're looking at numbers, you're weird. No one really cares.
Mm,
If you're checking the numbers and everything, then you're just I don't know why you do that. That's not fun. No one enjoys that. But that's whatever. But yeah, I if he wants to argue it, it's going to be he said she said, and there's no winner other than just arguing back and forth for no reason. There's no good outcome. So there's no winning that.
right. So, all right. So I'm going to give you some pushback, right? Only because of this, right? You say, looking at numbers is weird and stuff like that, but it's kind of like, um, it's really not because it's like, think about it, right? One of the most prestigious, and I feel like this too, and I might be wrong, and I'm Omega Supreme. I like talking about myself, whatever, right? But I feel
Oh, we
like
know.
I feel like nobody really cared that Rez was 44-0 when I first walked into the arena. Like, I feel like now the streak thing, I feel like I brung that to life. I feel like I created that because, like, before it was just like nobody really cared. It was just like, oh, there's Rez, da 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 da. Like, when I first came, nobody was even shook. Nobody cared, Love Toby to death. But I'm just like, bro, like you should have handled it. But that's neither here or there. But I just feel like, um, through the voice of me, through the strength, through the energy, I made like his streak, like, kind of like the Undertaker thing, right? I said the first person to beat Rez automatically gets into the Hall of Fame, and he co-signed it, right? So I kind of made it this thing now, right? And we can't sit here and say now that, like, because I feel like his streak is more powerful than winning the world heavyweight championship, honestly, right? And I feel like that's just off the back of me. And I feel like if we sit here and say numbers don't matter, but it kind of does matter, you know what I'm saying? And you're one of the forefathers of the company, so it's important for numbers to matter because, like, what I'm doing right now, I, told you to come to the podcast to verify all these things. So we kind of got to,
Yeah,
like, know, because that's a part of history, and we look
yeah,
at WWE, if numbers didn't matter, Undertaker wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that matter in history.
yeah. So let me rephrase the numbers. It's
Okay.
the obviously wins and losses matter.
Right.
It's the length of like the title reign here and title reign this and what you did with that. It's like those like stat pad like nitpicking numbers where if you get a date wrong, everything that gets thrown for a loop. And that it happens. It happens in every sport. It's one of those obviously wins and losses, those numbers stay and you can see those. But like if you get a date wrong, you get a date wrong. Like I if you're talking about, oh yeah, he had the belt for uh 14 days and 3 hours, then what are you doing? Like that's just ridiculous. But with Rez's streak, he still is undefeated, but I feel like when you say you made the big talk about it, I feel like that was mainly because you were kind of that first wave of like the new people coming in.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you were just kind of like taken back by it.
Yeah. Facts.
But at this point, we all saw it. We were all there. So we all kind of witnessed it. So it was more like one of those things. Well, we see it. What there's not like clearly we're trying to do what we can, but it's one of those like we're looking at it, but it's not like oh my god, he's undefeated. So I think it was one of those like new face, new. You're just now seeing it. We all kind of came essentially tone deaf to it because We've seen it. It's nothing new. But I'm gonna be the one to break it. I mean, when I get that opportunity, and I'm gonna get it, that man will not have will have a one by his name, and I will be the world heavyweight champion.
So, do you care more about the streak or the title?
To me, the streak is the the consolation prize. That title has had one champion. So to add your name to that list and to be by Rez and to have your name associated with that, I think that means more than just his streak. This championships last forever. Bangers fly forever. Championships last. Like having to say I held that belt, that lasts forever. There's no taking that back.
Yeah. And okay, well, how do you feel about this, right? Because this is a conversation. I think I've asked everybody this except for I didn't ask Isaac this because we kind of like we kind of didn't want to make it like my company versus company type, But I will ask you this. I've asked Jason. I also asked Rico, right? How do you feel like, or do you feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, right? Do you feel like Rez is flirting with the 500-day mark, right? Do you feel like at this point in his career that he's playing it safe? I mean, granted, you feel like you're going to be the one to take it, which you have a pretty good chance of taking it. It's depending on the match type. He kind of screwed you out of it. He said no to Toby. He said no to me. Uh, and it's just like he skipped out. I know, he got caught up at the airport, whatever, but he skipped out on Hall of Champions. He fought John again. I mean, we've done seen that. I mean, you guys have seen that multiple times. It's just like, and with him not being there and stuff like that, do you think he's like ducking and just waiting for the 500-day mark just to not drop it or not lose it, but like then it wouldn't matter anymore? Do you think he's just like holding out to that accomplishment? Because like you let me know, right? What was his three fights like before I came? I came at a showcase 6. So the three pay per views
Yeah.
before that, who did he fight?
So I could say the one before Showcase. This was, I believe it was the December pay per view. And after this, we took a break because that's when all the personal stuff happened, and we all just kind of needed a minute.
So
He
this was in
fought me.
2023 December.
Yes,
Okay.
2023. Yes, 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 yes. So we had our match, and I believed that John was on my side to help me out in case anything went awry. And turned out he didn't backstab me. And that's how I lost that match and had to basically become Rez's little helper because that was the stipulation. It was either I become
Right.
champion or I'm stuck under him,
Mm-hmm.
which I lost, no thanks to John. But and so then we all kind of took a break, stepped back. I believe he faced John before me, before Rez, and the title's new. That title is very much new, so it doesn't have the history as like the 5 stream or your hardcore championship. So it's a newer belt. I want to say it's been John and me as the only two people.
That's
No, because
insane.
Gang Gang was in our triple threat at Showcase, so Gang Gang as well.
But from what I heard, Gang Gang didn't play for a really long time. But who got pinned? It was you. You the one who got pinned, right? Gang Gang didn't get pinned.
Uh, it was an Iron Man match.
Oh,
I Rez never pinned me. No, Rez pinned me once, but I pinned Rez, I believe, twice, and Gang Gang once.
how many times did Rez pin Gang Gang?
I I don't know. I'd have to watch the match again. I,
Because
I got my. We all got our asses kicked. We all were bleeded, bloody
that's
memory.
that's another thing that I was gonna say. I was like, I know. Gang Gang's 22-0, but if he took more of the losses, I mean, I think he would be 21-0. But I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But it's just like, okay, so you guys took a really long break, um, in action, and then,
So when we had the break, we would do a little, some honor domes, some house shows here and there,
got
but
you.
we didn't want to do anything big just because, we were all kind of just struggling a little bit all. So we all kind of just needed some time. So it was one of those, if you can be here, great. If not, it's completely understandable. So we all kind of did what we could do, but there was no like, you have to get this or this or this. So it was one of those, it was a hard time, but we persevered and we got through it just like we have in the past.
Right. So also, I know you mentioned, you lost the stipulation. You was helping Rez. Also, like, you was helping Rez, right? So I know when I first came in, they were saying, someone mentioned in the promo that you were defending the title, the hardcore title for Rez. Is that true?
Uh, yeah. So obviously, because Rez wanted to make my life a living hell, as he does, um, he was like, "You're gonna have two matches because I'm not gonna," because I was doing his dirty work. So it was one of those like, you lost to me, so you're gonna face the punishment of it. And obviously, because I believe I'm one of the best, I would win because it's who I am. So it was one of those. My body would be bruised, but I'm able to do it because I am who I am. I didn't get to this company because I was some random. Got here because of my history. I won titles because I am who I am. It's plain and simple.
Okay, I definitely hear that. How many title defenses you think you had? Like, how many times you think you successfully defended the title? And when you would successfully defend it, would it go on your record or would it go on his record?
I believe it would be both because I believe I would get. I don't. I'm not too sure for the record.
Wow. Hmm.
Again, I pay attention here and there to that, but it's how you build your character and your story that matters to me. Um, I believe I did it 6 or 7 times. Again, I'm not too sure,
Got
but
you.
it was a handful of times. Um, I won it probably 6 or 7. Yeah, that's about my best guess I could do.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's something I did it because I had to or be fired, and I'm no way in hell I'm getting fired because of that. So
No, I
yeah,
definitely
you got to
feel
roll
it.
with the punches.
Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes that's what the company is about. Definitely got to roll with the punches. Um, And one thing, I was asking Jason about, and because I was just curious, 'cause I know Rez told me a story, but I wasn't too sure. But like, and I know you just said it, there's only been like one, title holder to the World Heavyweight Championship. Where did the World Heavyweight Championship go? Because I know the five stream was the first, undisputed title, but where did the World Heavyweight title come from?
So if I'm remembering correctly, it came because no one had beaten Rez, and Gang Gang was champion, but he had to go home and work on some family stuff, so he had to step away. So Rez decided, as he's the owner, he was like, "We're gonna make this belt," and him and John had the first match for it, as they were, uh, I think Rez might have called him out, or John was the number one contender for the five stream.
Mm-hmm.
Gang Gang had to step away, so it only made sense, you know, put them both there. That was fine by me. I believe that's how it happened. I want to say it was something along those lines, though. It was supposed to be kind of an interim thing, but it kind of became like this bigger ordeal, which completely understandable. It's a big belt.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I definitely understand. Um, Now let's shift gears, right? So you have an upcoming matchup with Isaac the Technician at you guys just changed the pay per view, so I'm sorry if I slaughter it, but it's risk versus reward or high risk reward or what
Yeah,
is it?
risk or reward, risk or reward.
Yeah, okay, risk or reward. Fire, love that. So he told me you guys are having the best out of three falls. I said that's a very dangerous match for him to have. I feel like one of your specialties is having a long match. I feel like the longer the match is, the more danger the opponent is in. You know, I've seen you in multiple matches, and you've definitely done your thing when it's a longer match. Um, and I told him about your play style, how I think it's sneaky. You know, that's just my opinion. Um, and also, I told him man, I can't remember. Yeah, I just told him I was just like, and I was also honest with him. I was like, what does this do for your career? Because lately, your win record hasn't been, like that. I know around, a lot of people they have your name on their resume. Under them beating you, and you're a legend. I feel like you take a lot of matches, you take a lot of risk, and right now Isaac is the A side, right? Because he's 7-1, he's up and coming, he's a champ, all the obvious things, right? So I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked him. What does this do for your career at this point? Because you've been hardcore champion, you've been five stream champion, you've been Midwest champion, you've been double champion, you've been tag team champion. But what does winning the hardcore title right now, late in your career, do for your resume or your legacy, I should say?
Yeah. Well, for me, with like the wins and losses and like me taking a lot of fights,
Mm-hmm.
it's because that's who I am. I'm not gonna like, oh yeah, I'm some big shot. I don't need this match. I'm gonna fight because that's who I am, and I'm a fighting, and when I'm a champion, I'm a fighting champion. So it's plain and simple. I'm not gonna try to just say, oh, this person, if they don't deserve it, they can not deserve it, and I'm okay with qualifying matches, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, this person, he won the match, but he's still not getting my shot. He's still not getting a shot. If you're rightfully deserving of the shot, you get a shot. That's who I am, and that's what I believe in. So I'm not gonna step away and say, "No, this person's not worth my time." It's not right to the company. It's not right to the person who did deserve a shot, and they're gonna get it. So with this hardcore title, Isaac he called me out. He said, you've taken some losses, which I have. Last couple title matches haven't been going great. Um, but he called me out, and then I went to go check at everything he did, and yeah, he beat you for the title.
Yeah.
I don't know who else he beat though.
Mm.
So he's got this belt and he's parading it around. He's doing this and that, but it's the hardcore championship. When I won those belts, when I won the belt, it is the championship. It's the fighting. It's the workers' belt. It's the championship you use to say this is who I am. I deserve this. I'm the champion for a goddamn reason. And he's he won the belt, and then he decides I'll defend it every now. I'll defend it at a pay per view, or nah, I just won't defend it this one. So what champion are you if you're just picking when you want the belt instead of being the fighting champion and being the hardcore champion where you can do this or that? Because he's kind of just saying, yeah, I won the belt. I'm good. I'm good with that. So at this point, I'm going to show him what being a champion is,
Mm.
and so I'm going to win the belt. I'm going to win that, and then I'm going to show him that listen, this is what a fighting champion is. I'll defend it. I want a qualifying match, and then I'll beat the winner. I'll fight the winner because you know what? Like he wants to talk about the short reigns and that his reign, if he defended that, would already be over. There would already be probably three other champions at this point.
I know I heard a promo on TV. I mean, I'll be paying. I'm either here or there, but I could have sworn I heard him say that he's taken open challenges. Were those open challenges title shots? I know, he was supposed to. Oh, actually, let's back up. Did he have a match at Devil's Advocate?
So he was supposed to, and like you said, the person's Aries contract ran out,
Oh, okay, yeah,
and so
that's right. That's right. He
instead,
did say that.
yeah, instead of saying like, "Oh yeah, I'll take an open challenge," who wants a match for the hardcore championship? He decides, I'll just talk, and no one wants to come to a pay per view where you're supposed to see a championship match and just see him talk.
Hmm.
No one wants to see that. If he wants to be champion, he can be champion. But if he doesn't want to defend the belt, just get rid of it. Don't be that. Don't be the champion who just yaps. No one listens to that shit.
Right, and I remember when I first came, they said the same thing about Spec, but it was the opposite, right? It was like this nigga don't or this guy he don't talk, but he shows up and he fights and that's it. And he has open challenges and stuff like that. So do you
Mm-hmm.
pref- so do you
You there?
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Omega? Is he talking? If he is, I can't hear him.
Can you hear me? Yep, yep.
Yep, yep. I hear you.
I don't know why it's saying that. Okay, so I think we're good now. I'll
Yeah.
just edit that part out. What was the last thing you said?
Um. So you were saying it was something about like Spec, who
Oh
was the
yeah.
Midwest champion
Okay.
for a while.
Yeah. So all right. So I can pick it up. All right. Yeah. So he was champion. He wouldn't cut promos, but he would just go there and fight. Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel like? Well, let me ask this too, because like I was telling Isaac, I feel like his move set and his style it's very rare. It's very unique. He's a technician. Nobody wants to be put in submissions all match or slammed on the back of their heads and stuff like that. Do you think the locker room is like scared? Because I feel like he kind of not ran through the roster, but ran through the roster, and I feel like the only person left is you.
So if people are scared, that's their own problem. Me personally,
Hmm.
his style completely is countered by mine. I'm one of those people who, yeah, he'll slam. Will he slam my head hard? Probably, but I'll do it 10 times harder, and
But
he'll
like
walk
sometimes
out.
I feel
He
like,
might need help getting backstage.
so this is gonna be a
So
good one.
I think with his style and my style, they clash, and I think mine, because as you know, we've had our a couple battles here and there.
Hmm.
When I hit, it hits hard. You you're not walking out of there straight. So it would be one of those. I think it'll be a good match, but I think with the 2 out of 3 falls and his style, it's a little bit benefiting towards me. So if people are scared, that's their own problem. I'm not.
Yeah,
Never been scared of a challenge.
and I agree. But also like people also want to know like what happens when you lose, right? Because you almost had for in my opinion, Spec almost ended your career. I mean, he cut a promo before. He said something about a rock bottom. He ended the match with the rock bottom, and then, the last words from him was literally your career hit rock bottom before he left. So it's just like those are things that. So yeah,
Yeah,
those are things
yeah.
that fans are still saying, and it's like, you dropped the title match, the Midwest title match against Jason before he left to crown him champion, and So like, what happens now hypothetically if you lose? You know?
So, to go back with the specs thing, yeah, he's if he said my career is over, I'm still getting title shots. I'm still winning, still fighting. So my career is more than alive. And then, yeah, I lost to Jason. Jason and me have had several matches. It's one of those, we go back and forth, but he got the better of me that day. Hoping for a rematch, but obviously he left. But I win or lose, I am who I am. I'm not gonna be like, oh, my career's over. I can't win the match. I'm going to be a fighting champion if I win it, and if not, I'll take it in stride and I'll be back. Like it's plain and simple. I'm not gonna stay down. So
Yeah.
people are like that, and I'm not. I believe the last person to lose to or to try to beat Rez or someone like that, most of the time they lose and then poof,
That's
gone.
it.
Never
Yeah.
hear from them again.
So yeah, I definitely understand. But we can go ahead and wrap things up. When is the pay per view? So I can go ahead and get a ticket or something. You guys have a date?
I have to double. I have to double check it. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to double check. I'm never good with dates. I believe I want to say end of June, early July, maybe.
Okay.
Um, I have to double check though. I can't remember dates, but if Isaac's listened to this, he picked the wrong man to challenge. I'll tell you that. He could have picked anyone else, and he probably should have, because I'm not going to stay down, and he picked the wrong match stipulation because you and I both know I don't go down in 2 seconds. If you keep that match going and going and going, it's ending one way, and that's with the 1, 2, 3 in my hand being raised.
Yeah, we're definitely we're definitely gonna see about it. I think it's a very exciting match. Um, but
I've
yeah.
never faced Isaac,
hmm
so it'll be a first time matchup, and
Oh, this is gonna be good. I didn't even think of
yeah,
that. Yeah. Um,
man, here in MOH, we got some new people coming in,
I've heard.
showing some promise. One of those I've been here a while. I have no intention of going anywhere else right now, but I'm here for the long run, and anyone who steps up to me or wants to, they can try, but no one has ever said it's easy. Not a single damn person.
Yeah, I think I can. I think I can attest to that. Um,
You
but yeah,
still got battle scars from that cage.
yeah, we're definitely. And like I was telling everybody else has been up here that's from MOH. You guys gotta get on Red's ass. Tell him to open up that forbidden door. Because the forbidden door is there. Our side is open. We're just waiting on confirmation from him. So you do that. I mean, we can have a hell of a pay per view. I don't mind fighting a couple times. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. It can happen. It may not. It'll be up in the air probably till it either happens or it doesn't happen. It's one of those things. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, in my mind, I can live. I think most people will kind of it'll suck, but you know, life's not perfect. Shit happens.
Are
You
you
know.
are you willing, hypothetically, right? Let's say Rico, Isaac, and a couple others be like, you know what? We want to do the forbidden door, right? Without Rez's permission. Would you do it? And if you don't want to answer it publicly, fine. I respect that. But would you form a coup?
No, I'll answer it. Rez gave me an opportunity that no one else would. I'm loyal to him. I'm not going to turn my back on him. If he doesn't want to do it, I won't do it.
I
No one else
respect that.
gave the shot, so He's been loyal with me. I've had to take my absence here and there for personal, and he said, "Come back when you're ready." He's been very straight up with me, and I got nothing but respect for the guy. Even though screwed me on a couple titles,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
he's got my respect,
well, that's fair. That's fair.
and he showed me the same.
Yeah.
You know,
Hopefully he opens that door. You know. But if he doesn't, like you said, life goes on, and that's perfectly fine. But thank you for coming. I really
yeah,
appreciate you coming. I really didn't think you would pull up, but you did. So
well, I wasn't, and someone got their history wrong.
yeah,
Someone don't know their history.
that's what I was
Only a
gonna
couple
say.
people could speak on it. Only a couple people could speak on it. And
Yeah.
I'm
So I know when
I'm one of them.
Jason hears this, he's definitely gonna want to come back. But um, I gotta have both of you guys here. It's only right. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
he's gonna, push back and say, hey, this ain't right. So the next time, when I invite him, I gotta invite you too.
yeah. Listen, I'm more than happy to come back, but I know what's happened in this company,
Mm-hmm.
um, for the most part, last 4 or 5 years or so. So I'm one of four people who can say I got a pretty damn good history of what happened.
Love to hear it. So thank you for coming by. And I, wish you good luck, and hopefully I, buy tickets and I see you and Isaac.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I know you guys have your match, but he's not ready.
Yeah, we gonna see. But all right. Thank you for coming by, man. I'm gonna talk to you later.
Yep. See you, man.
All right, yeah.